Yeah, buddy.
Let's go!
Yeah, tight leg, buddy.
Go, baby! Yeah! Go!
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my God! Yeah, buddy!
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
What up, guys? So as you guys know, on this specific training block the next couple of months, my goal is to lose weight, get lean, finally look like I actually lift, but also try to prep myself for the goal of 1500 at sub 200 next year. And I know a lot of people think that you can't get stronger while you're losing weight. And if you look at that as a general rule and principle, that is very true, because it's very hard to get stronger on a caloric deficit. When you're on a caloric deficit, the hard part is progressive overload for the next couple of months, because you're just gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller. But the thing that you really can focus on is becoming a more efficient machine with your CNS and your neuromuscular system. So the question is then, how do we become more efficient? And the number one thing to become a more efficient lifter is skill acquisition, meaning getting better at the lift itself. So you'll see when a lot of lifters are on a caloric surplus, they can easily get by with training that one movement maybe once or twice a week. But those of us that are trying to lose weight and we have to increase our skill acquisition, that's when we bump up the frequency. And you'll see people squatting maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. And with that, that's how I've structured my training, where I know I only have 4 days to work out. So it's really important for me to hit my lower body in a squat movement as much as I can. So the reason why I have a variation between back squat and front squat is I'm taking my overall longevity as a lifter in mind. When you overuse a joint or a muscle, that is when you have a tendency to get tendinitis. And because I'm not a world record lifter, nor am I specifically trying to beat a specific person in a very short amount of time, longevity is very, very important to me. So instead of back squatting 4, 5, 6 times a week, where I'm gonna be more prone to injury, have more tendinitis in my hips, in my knees, in my back, in my shoulders, I'm varying the movement so that I can still get the same type of muscle stimulation that I need, but without overusing that joint. And with hitting a volume PR on the front squat today, hitting 295 for my first triple, 315 for my second triple, and then 295 for my third triple at a new low body weight of 207, I know that for sure you can lose weight while getting stronger. I think there's a very huge common misconception that sometimes you'll hear a bodybuilding rumor and it transfers over into CrossFit. You hear a CrossFit rumor and it transfers into powerlifting, and there's no context. So whoever's saying it can be saying it in a very legitimate and authoritative setting, but because the context isn't taken into consideration, people just take that general statement and they apply it overall to whatever they think they're doing. So I think it's really important to do your research and even try things yourself. If you're a CrossFitter and you have a goal, do as much research as you can to accomplish those goals before you let any blanket statement stop you from doing it. And the same applies for powerlifting, bodybuilding, or whatever fitness endeavor you have. So obviously in fitness, when you only have one goal in mind, it's much easier to achieve that, and you don't have to make as much sacrifice. For example, if you're just bulking, all you really have to do is eat a fuck ton and be in a caloric surplus, and your training doesn't have to be as much as on point. You could be sleeping an hour or two less. You can have a huge workload at work, but because you have such a huge caloric surplus, you're just gonna naturally get bigger, kind of like all the couch potatoes that don't train at all and they just keep getting fatter and fatter and fatter every single year. But the hard part is when you have 2 or more goals in fitness and they kind of go against each other. So if you are on a caloric deficit, you're trying to get lean, you're trying to get smaller, but you're trying to get stronger, that's when it's really important to make sure your diet is on point, your sleep is on point, you're taking multivitamins, you're doing whatever you can to give yourself a mental break from work. Because whether you go to Disneyland, which is a stressor, or if you get fired from job, which is another stressor, one's a positive stressor and the other one's a negative, your body can't tell the difference. Anytime your body gets stressed, it produces cortisol, which prevents you from losing weight. So it's really important to keep your body in a balance and not have too many highs and too lows when you're trying to achieve more than 2 goals at once. And that's something that you really have to keep in mind. I've seen a lot of advanced people hit 3 goals at once, and these people are highly advanced. But when you are first starting out, I highly recommend choosing one goal and giving it your all to try to achieve that. Like, let's say you want to get a 6-pack for the summer, do whatever you can to get that 6-pack, because not only will that boost your confidence and give you momentum going into your second goal, but it also proves to yourself that you can accomplish and achieve the things that you want to do. Then when you're able to tackle just one goal at a time, then you can start adding more and more together, and then ultimately you'll become a better athlete. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people don't understand about being an athlete. They think it's purely genetic or purely biological. A lot of it has to do with lifestyle discipline as well. So I am on track on my goal. I did hit a new low of 207 and I'm getting stronger. So everything is looking really good for 2016. I'm gonna keep this up and I can't wait to see what the 2017 Bart looks and lifts like. Peace.
I at least got the crying part good.
Well, that's our new hat, our new barbell hat.
Yeah.
I'm just sad for you because you're gonna